Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dominions 5, and this is going to be a special video. A patch just dropped. Today, actually. Or early this morning, or possibly late last night, not sure, depending on where you are in the world. In any case, it brought some fixes, some minor changes, and more importantly, it brought Late Age Phlegra, the Sleeping Giants. This is not going to be a full strategy video. This is just I want to do two things today. First of all, I want to talk about the nation just a little bit, and then I want to segue from that into something else. So, Phlegra the Sleeping Giants. Very interesting little nation. They've got a lot of similarities to Middle Age Phlegra. They've got some of the same unique mechanics as Middle Era Phlegra, if I can say words. But they've also got some special things of their own. They start off with Telepilos, which gives you Earth Gems and enables recruitment of Cyclops Smiths, Oppressor Archons, and Iron Guard, and the Burning Mountain, which gives you extra heat and produces 3 fire per turn. Those actually change during the game in a fascinating way. Commander-wise, they've got basic commanders. They've got these cataphracts, these Mouflon cataphracts, which are actually pretty cool units. They've got the same Phlegran Priest that they used to have, except the Phlegran Priest is now a slave and reduces unrest, which is a pretty neat little ability to have. They have the same Shackled Mage they used to have, but I think a little more expensive, 70 gold. Middle Age Phlegra's was less than that. Where is the Shackled Mage? No, I guess they pushed up the price for Shackled Mages in Middle Age Phlegra as well. I wonder when. Yeah, that's higher than it used to be, if I recall correctly, because their upkeep cost, well, I don't know. I feel like that's higher than it used to be. They used to be very, very cheap. But in any case, they've got the same Shackled Mage as Middle Age Phlegra. They've got the same Phlegran Oppressor as Middle Age Phlegra. This is the same mage exactly. They've got a couple new mages. They've got the Oppressor General, who is a oppressor without the fire path, and then a 1 random. So less magic, a little bit more expensive actually, but leadership 80, magic leadership 45. That's actually important for this nation, and Taskmaster +2. So the Oppressor General can lead slaves very effectively, and is still an oppressor, and so can still lead communions. And 2 paths for 135 gold is not super money efficient. But given the other utility he brings, the Oppressor General is still very solid, especially because he's very likely to have a communion of Shackled Mages behind him. You've got the Cyclops Smith. This is the equivalent of the old Elder Cyclop. It's weaker, but not slow to recruit anymore. Only gets 3 paths, 1 random, 1 elemental random, plus of course the 10%. Fire resistant naturally, still has the Master Smith, and has resource bonus 20, which is actually a lot more valuable now because Cyclops Smiths are not slow to recruit, and Late Age Phlegra is much, much more resource capped than Middle Age Phlegra was. And the Oppressor Archon. This is a new slow to recruit capital only. Very wide path spread, high paths, 2 randoms, 1 Earth Fire, 1 of their various paths. Basically, they can get anything up to level 2 except for water, and they can potentially get Earth up to level 3, or possibly even 4 if you're super lucky. Same with Fire. They are quite old. But they're very solid in terms of sight searching for utility out of battle, and of course they give you astral magic, which is super useful because now you can cast anti-magic and spells like that. There's also there's something else to show you once we get into the game. I'm going to show you a game real quick. You have the Helix Archer, basically the same Helix Archer as the Middle Age. You also have Helix Crossbowmen, high resources, very cheap in gold, very cheap upkeep because they're slaves. Excellent crossbow attack and plate armor, so they're very solid. Helix Soldiers are basically indie heavy infantry, but they have a promotion mechanic, so they promote at a lab. This is a new mechanic introduced in this patch. You have to bring them back to a lab in order to promote them, and once they promote, they turn into a different unit, which is very kind of cool, the Iron Bound. Then you have the Iron Guard. The Iron Guard is capital only. The Iron Guard is unique because not only do they have good stats and high armor, they also have incredibly high morale. And this is because they get effectively a hidden +8 magical morale bonus. They are also magic beings, so they must be commanded by mages. This is why the Oppressor General is valuable. The Oppressor General is a mage with magic leadership. He can lead the Iron Guard and the Iron Bound, who Helix Soldiers promote into. Helix Soldiers, once they've gotten a star of experience, promote into essentially slightly weaker versions of the Iron Guard. They have the very high morale, they have the very high protection, and they have better attack skills than their defense. They fight very aggressively. So The Iron Guard and the Ironbound, and they're magic beings, so they have to be commanded by mages. The Iron Guard and the Ironbound are actually very, very good units. They're extremely resource intensive, once again. The Mouflon Cataphract, once again, very high resource cost, higher than most heavy cavalry. Their headbutt attack is slightly better than the hoof attack of most heavy cavalry, and of course they're slaves and they have mountain survival plus a small supply bonus. So they can actually supply themselves and one other human-sized unit just by having Mouflon Cataphracts around. So that makes them pretty neat. Plus they've got higher protection than most cavalry, okay defense skill, okay attack skill, generally solid across the board. You know, worth recruiting, nothing too terribly exceptional. And their morale, of course, can be buffed by taskmasters because they're slaves, and their upkeep is almost nothing. And finally, you have the Cyclops Soldier, who is a Gigante hoplite from Makone, but worse. That's all I have to say about them. They do have these javelins, but they're precision 5, so highly inaccurate. Magical attack, magical armor, high protection, decent skills, very high strength and hit points. That's all there is to say about Cyclops Soldiers. So, but that's not the really interesting thing about Phlegra. I mean, this right here is an okay nation. Like, they've got some things going for them. They've got the magical communions. Their magic is a little bit more limited than Middle Age because they don't have Trophimos sages. But they've got the communions. They've got the solid infantry with the promotion mechanic. They've got the Mouflon Cataphracts, which are kind of a neat unit. You know, they've got some stuff going for them. That's not it. Let's pop into our test here. Here is the thing, and you may see him at Encalados. There's an event. There's an event that fires for Phlegra. And it happens, you can see I have Misfortune 3. It happens, there's a chance for it to happen at turn 15, and the chance goes up every turn thereafter. In my case, it fired turn 23. What that event does is it kills a bunch of population in your capital. It fires off a bunch of unrest. And it changes your capital site to the Shattered Volcano, which enables the recruitment of the Laestrygonian Tyrant. It gives you Fire and Death Gem now instead of fully Fire Gems. It may also enable recruitment of the Laestrygonian if you have Gigantomachia active. The Laestrygonian Tyrant is the Phlegran Tyrant on crack. It's the most powerful supercombatant in the game, bar none. High natural protection, basic natural protection of 16 after its Earth magic. Incredibly high strength, high hit points, fire, earth, and death paths, all at higher levels than the Phlegran Tyrants had, plus a 10% random that may possibly include air. Causes fear. Poor amphibian can go underwater. Fire and poison resistant to high degrees. Berserker +4, a massive siege bonus, recuperation, and then also Heretic, Shattered Soul, 5, so goes insane 5% of the time. Taskmaster +4, Population Killer 70, causes 10 unrest per turn, and Combat Caster. It starts off with a massive Great Club, 2 serpent leg attacks from its giant snakes that it has for legs. A 5 attack snake trusses. This should be tresses. It's talking about its hair. It's not carrying around a building made of snakes, as cool as that would be. But this is 5 attacks. And it can throw boulders. This is nuts. This is an insane commander. As I said, by far the most powerful supercombatant in the game. It takes 6 recruitment points, which means it takes 2 full turns of your capital to recruit a Laestrygonian Tyrant, and it costs 600 gold. But look at my gold here. Now, admittedly, I've been skipping through turns, haven't really been building stuff. So yeah, it's turn 23, but by turn 23 as Phlegra, because all of your units are slaves, you could easily have 4 or 5 forts. You could easily have, I mean, if you look at my expansion here, I took an Awake Drakon because I think that's my boring expander lizard, because I think that's the most solid tactic to use with them. And I have a lot of territory because he can expand every turn with no worries, and your troops can also expand pretty solidly. And so, sometime in turn 20-something, your mountain is going to explode. It'll wipe out a whole bunch of your population and kill your income in your capital by a lot, but it gives you Encalados, the first of the Gigantes, for free. He's even better than the rest. He causes more unrest and kills more population, but he's 4 fire, 4 earth, and death 2. And he's a fire gem generator for free. So you just stick him in some province that you don't care about and forget about him forever, basically. And it lets you recruit these puppies, who are absurd supercombatants. And if you ever cast Gigantomachia, it lets you recruit Laestrygonians as units, and Laestrygonians as units are just slightly worse tyrants. They're incredibly powerful units. They have high natural protection, they berserk, they have a huge siege bonus, and yeah, they're like they count as about 40 dudes all by themselves for a siege, which is kind of silly. And you can cast Gift of Reason on them to turn them into smaller Laestrygonian tyrants. I believe they have 1-1 for paths, I think, something like that. And then you can use them as super combatants as well, because that's enough to let them buff themselves. So basically, Phlegra is the super combatant nation. Like, the super combatant nation. You're gonna really, really struggle with these Laestrygonian tyrants to make them function, and like, you can never have them sitting around in your provinces. Never. Ever, ever, ever. Because they will destroy them. I mean, killing 100 population a turn by itself is pretty bad. Like, that's automatically counteracting whatever growth you've taken plus some. But causing unrest 10 or 12 per turn is also really bad. That will kill your income in real short order. So you have to use them to fight. And once you start being able to recruit them, you never stop. I think, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I can tell, the tactic with this nation is when you can recruit Laestrygonian tyrants, you never recruit anything in your capital except them again, because they are so good. They're so powerful. And you use them as just murder machines. Before they come out, you want to try and research up to get, like, construction to give them gear, and then you go from there. Also, of course, Phlegra has all the national Greek spells, so you can summon carries, and then you can Gift of Reason them to get into blood. You can do all kinds of crazy things. So, Late Age Phlegra is very interesting. This isn't a full strategy video because I haven't been able to play with them yet. I just got home from work, and I was excited about this and needed to record this video. So, we'll have to see how they do. And I am going to see how they do, because I am starting that subscriber game that I've been talking about. So, that game, when this video goes up, that game will be open for joins on my Discord server. I'll have a link to my Discord server in the description below. Now, first dibs on spots will go to Patreon supporters. I have a few of them signed up already. I opened it up for Patreon supporters before the public announcement. So some spots will already be taken. There are 16 spots in the game. It's going to be a 16-player game. I'll keep signups open for 2 days. I'll shut them earlier if we fill up before then, of course. But if we don't, after 2 days, we'll go with however many we have. We have, I believe, I want to say 6 players already, something like that, counting myself. I will be playing as Late Age Phlegra. This will be a Late Age game. The only banned nation will be Lemuria, so there will be no Ghost Apocalypse in this game. But beyond that, it's free game. I'll be creating a map once we're full up with cartographic revision. There will be some minor mods in play, worthy heroes, and the better arena mod, just for ease of play, basically. Nothing that will terribly change balance much. And I am going to, I'd love to play with y'all. And it will give me an opportunity to explore Late Age Phlegra in a fun little environment. New players are welcome. People who, if you are at all interested in playing Dominions 5, this would be a great opportunity. We'd love to have you. And the game will be going up on the channel after, of course, it's been running for a little while. I'll start posting after about turn 15, as usual, and then I'll keep posting as the game goes along. I'll more or less just keep up with it. So it should be really, really exciting. So once again, I'll have that link to the Discord server down in the description below. There will be a channel for the game, and people will be welcome to go there and sign up until the game is full. And after that, you can still use that channel to chat, talk about Dominions or the game itself, and it'll be a real good time. So that's all I have for right now. Check the link in the description below. Check out the Discord. Check out the game, and I hope to see you all in game. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.